This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Hey guys, Happy New Year to you all. It's the Retro Buzz. We're back with episode number 87. We are in 2022. What an exciting time. We've got a lot going on. Before we get into it, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I want to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, the grandfather of tech and video games. We've got Mr. Glenn Planamento.
It's been forever. I was out a week for your last show. I wasn't here for the last show last year.
No,
so I've been gone 3 weeks.
Your work was being a Nazi, and they made you work.
They did.
Bah humbug.
You got to get the money to fix this basement at some point. I can't keep staying on this thing. So, did you have a good? Did you have a good holiday? Good New Year?
I did. I had a really good Christmas. Did a lot of stuff with the family, and I did absolutely nothing but play video games the whole 2 weeks.
I've been noticing doing a lot of Fortnite videos.
Fortnite, I've been doing Halo, I've been doing Far Cry, I've been doing, there's a bunch of them I've been playing, Resident Evil. I have been doing Fortnite, though. I think I had 36 hours in gameplay over 1 week of Christmas, and I think there was 42 the other week.
Nothing says 36 hours of Fortnite than family. That's it right there. Spending quality time with the family, Steven.
We did. We had family time, to the point where I got my brother and my sister-in-law to buy some Switch OLEDs so that they could play Fortnite as well as some other games. My brother's always been a Nintendo fan, so yeah.
No, what I was gonna say, I think me and you could probably handle the show today. Do we need Doug? Just drop his feed. We don't need Doug today.
Let's talk about Doug for a second. So I want to preface this that Doug has put together our news list this week. He put together all the topics that we're going to go through, minus a few. But here's the problem, as Glenn alluded to. Doug got what I got 3 or 4 weeks ago, him and his wife, and he was helping his wife. Obviously, she's pregnant. She's sick. So him being the great husband that he is, he was helping her. And guess what? He got sick. So
he contaminated him.
He can't talk. So that's why you haven't seen any videos from Doug. He didn't fall off the internet. So just send him your well wishes for him and his wife that they have a speedy recovery. But he told us last night, he's like, or this morning. It was early this morning, wasn't it?
Yep, that's right.
He says, guys, I have no voice. And I feel for him because I was there not 3 weeks ago. And I kind of think it was maybe that Omicron. I was saying to Glenn, I said,
look, it's Unicron.
Yeah, and when my voice, when they came out with the symptoms of that, I was like, this was after I was sick, and I got over it. I was just kind of like, check, add that. I'm like going down the list, and I'm vaccinated, okay? So I was just kind of like, thank God I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything like that. So,
yep. Next Friday, I get my booster. Got to get boosted.
Old people do.
Yeah, well, the aliens got to find me. They got to know that, they got me chipped.
Right.
My dog Blue,
Well, it's great to see everybody here. Happy New Year's to everyone. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. And everybody, supporting, even those of you that don't like to watch Fortnite, but you came out to support me anyways and watch that. In fact, we are going to do some tonight. I have an event scheduled for, I think, 9:30. I've got a bunch of guys that want to get on. So if you're not doing anything and you're bored and you like console gaming and Fortnite, you can come join us. I started building Steven, a nice audience.
I can't do it tonight. But you and I got Cole, because Cole played Fortnite all night long. We should do it. This way you guys can protect me as I'm cowering in the corner in a building.
I think that would be fun. The one guy I play with, he is really good. So I'm trying to learn even better. So yeah, we gotta do that. We'll stream it, and then you guys can see Glenn cowering in the corner.
Yeah, I'll be that. I'm telling you, I'm always there in the corner like this. I'm always the second guy left because I'm always hiding in some building in some weird crack somewhere.
Do you play it on? Well, you don't play it on your Switch, right? You play it now on PC?
No,
PlayStation.
No, I've been playing it. How long? It's been like 4 or 5 years. I've been playing it, and I still suck. Like I came within this much of some other loser to winning We're both like, doing that. But yet he got me. He got me. I was like so close. But speak of the Switch. My son, that Switch, he finally took it out of the box. The Switch has been out
Wow.
of the box. However, with that being said, he got a new gift this year. It was only one gift. Again, he asked for nothing, never asked for anything. He got one gift. I bought him and myself the new Google Pixel 6 Pro. I have my Google 6 Pro right here, and Cole's is sitting in the box. He goes, Dad, I have a phone. I don't need it. I'm like, your phone's like 4 years old. It's got like no space in it. It's like screen's cracked. No, Dad, I don't need it. Okay. So, but the Switch is being used. I'll say that.
That's
Happy New Year,
interesting.
Mr. Dubs.
Yes, all you guys. I'm trying to bring your comments up as Glenn was talking there.
See, Doug's not here now.
Yeah,
There's
no. So
way to
now I
shut
have
me
to
up.
lean
There's
on you.
no way to shut me up. Yep. No way for me to shut up.
Glenn's got 2 weeks. Well, actually 3 weeks because he missed the last show of the year, and then we were off
Yep.
2 weeks. 3 weeks of pent up energy. I think we all
Yep.
do.
Yep,
Let's
and it's been a hell of a day already. So yeah, let's get started.
let's get into the
Let's
news.
start it.
Here we go. All right, so
Oh, that was it? I thought that was the news.
well, no, I mean we actually have to discuss the news. I mean, come on.
It's been so long. I forgot. I'm sorry. It's been. So
I know
long.
it's
I
not
really
like your
forgot.
favorite topic because it is Arcade One Up, and I'm sporting my Arcade One Up shirt today in honor of it because they had the biggest news of CES, right?
You know what they did? I really didn't think CS was going to have much going on there, but they had a lot of announcements. I'll say that.
Well, and I've been following Rexer. If you guys didn't see it, Rexer put out a bunch of video. He was at some of these booths, and so he'll have to correct us if we get anything wrong. But Arcade One Up was not there. Let's just preface it with that. They were not there, but iArcade was, and there was another company that's probably going to be doomed for. We won't go there. But anyways, they were there. Toy Shock was also there. Ho
I
hum.
was surprised Toy Shock was there. I really was surprised they were there.
They showed Glenn the same stuff that they showed 2 years ago. No lie, minus the mini pinballs. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just. I'm not trying to hate here. I'm just trying to be honest. But Arcade One Up, they brought out some Legacy Edition cabinets. Centipede. I know a lot of your cabinets were ruined. Is this something that maybe you'd be thinking about possibly getting in there since maybe your 12-in-1 was ruined? And
But I'll tell you once again, like the Tempest cabinet, it's a beautiful looking cabinet.
oh yeah,
What ruined it for me on the Tempest cabinet was the control layout. This control layout looks good. I mean, it looks good. And Centipede is just a beautiful cabinet. I mean, it's just one of those things you walk in, it's iconic. It's a fun game. Guys like it. The ladies like it. It was actually designed by a woman programmer for women. And it showed in the amount of quarters it took from the female species, as they say in Stranger Things, the female species. But it looks good. And you know what? I don't know. I think I'm at a point right now, between the basement being the way it is, I may not replace the big machines. I think I may go for more of the small machines or home built machines. I haven't decided yet. To be quite honest.
yeah.
How about
and
you? What are you thinking?
No. I think my days of buying cabinets, unless something stands out to me really good, I just think. Listen, I'm not going to be one of those guys that are going to be like, because we're going to get into this. The $699 price point, the $1,000 price point for the pros. We'll get into that. I'm not going to sit there and be like, they suck or that sucks. I can't believe they. Listen,
No,
it's for a particular. It's for a particular audience, right? It's not me. I don't have the room for the pro, even if I wanted it, because of half of my finished basement because of the HVAC is lower. That's why I couldn't even do full size arcades. But to be quite honest, I don't want full size arcades.
No
no
you know
interest.
what? I will say, I still take my hat off to Arcade One for listening and doing it. We haven't seen them yet. We don't know the quality in them just yet. Let's say that the quality is there in the $1,000 price point. It might not be a bad thing. And again, it's not going to be for everyone. But I'm just trying to see the comments from people saying, oh my God, it's way too much money, buy a real machine. People asked for this. Arcade One didn't pull out of their hat and do this. This is where people asked for 2 years. I want a full size. I want better controls. So I'm just saying to people, they did what you wanted. So let's see how they play and the quality of it. Don't sit there and immediately start bashing them, saying it's way too much money. Just buy a real machine. Give them a chance. Let the machines come out, and let's see how they do.
So Paul Barnes in the chat room, I'm going to pull up his comment real quick. He says, you watch, Steven's going to end up buying the Proline cabinets. And Glenn can attest to this because I've been talking to Glenn and Doug for the last couple weeks when we've been off. And I said, I think I'm kind of starting to shift my gears a little bit more toward console. I've been doing a lot with console gaming. I've been building an audience on Twitch with console gaming. There's less drama in the console gaming. I mean, just being honest here, there's creators that I'm finding are not backbiters, and I'm sorry if I'm being a little too transparent, but I just feel like there's too much toxicity in this community that doesn't need to be there. Everybody's so jealous of everybody else, and I'm going to get off my soapbox here in a minute, but what it's doing is it's just pushing people like me away. Like and Glenn, you're burned from it too. Come on.
I am. I admit I haven't really been much in the groups as of late as well.
Right.
But the groups and everyone should be supportive. I mean, I had a thing with my dog Blue. Blue hashtag Blue Community Blue.
Oh, there's good people. There's good people.
And people came. A lot of people came out, to help me. So that's what community is at its best. But like you said about the jealousy, I'm not sure if it's that, but there is toxicity in those forums, and it really shouldn't be. If someone has something and they post a question, answer it or just go past it. You don't have to sit there and like berate someone because
right.
It was asked 10 times before. That person may have just got the machine, and they don't know how to search. Who knows? People should just learn to either be polite or pass on by. Read it, and if you want to put a nice comment, do that. If it's something you're going to be nasty about, just don't. You don't know what that person is going through. That might be the only machine they were able to get. They could be extremely happy with it.
Yep.
People should just try and be nice. 2022. Let's just be nice. Is that too hard to ask?
It'll make the community that much better. Like, I mean, I've seen people take, for instance, I've seen Rexers out at CES. I'm going to use him as an example. I've seen comments with him like, oh, now he's shilling for iArcade. I've seen ones where he's shilling for, whatever. Guys, get off the shilling thing. Or you get P-Dubs, he's unboxing something, and I'm, seeing different chatter and other forums about it where he's like, oh, that guy buys everything, and listen, he buys it because he wants it, and he's trying to help you guys out. Let it go. Seriously, just let it go.
The thing is, it is. I mean, we're doing, people call us shills, because we are doing videos of stuff that we like, right? I mean,
just like this, we like these mini cabinets. That's why we're talking about it right now.
And it's expensive. So we're doing these videos, and, like the Game of the Week, Return to the Game of the Week, this is on today. Each one of those videos took me like 12 or 14 hours. I mean, that's just doing a 6-minute video. So when you're doing a longer video or a review, that's a lot of time you take away from your family and other things you could be doing. There should be some type of compensation. And if an organization wants to send you a machine for review, it should be fine. If a Mad Little Pixel or ETA Prime gets devices all the time, are they shills when they get these equipment? No. So why should P-Dubs, Rexer, or anyone else at this level do that? I'm very thankful. I mean, to be quite honest, Arcade 1-Up, when Harold and Chizcom was with them, he sent me like my first real, I'll consider a real review unit back then, the asteroids machine. And I kept the box is safe up in the atticals, even though the machine is not, but the box is safe up there. And I appreciate that because I would like to review all kinds of things, but I don't have thousands of dollars to keep selling it. I don't want to go buy it, review it, put it back in a box and return it. That's not fair either.
Yeah.
So organizations have a marketing budget and they send things out to people, and you should just be thankful the reviews are coming out there. To be quite honest.
Yep.
Again, it's back to negative comments. If you're negative about it, just move on.
Yeah, just pass it by. Just like this. And the reason I brought that up was not to go off on a tangent, but because of our next cabinet that they released, Pac-Man. Okay, Pac-Mania, the Pac-Mania edition.
I can't wait for Pac-Man. No one's done that before.
Everybody says this every time a Pac-Man. Like, which version of Pac-Man is Arcade 1-Up going to bring out? I've said it. I'm guilty. I've said it. I'm not a fan of this cabinet. Maybe there's people out there. I like the game.
Right.
Don't like the cabinet. I'm not going to buy the cabinet.
Right.
But, I mean, Glenn, I mean, this probably isn't something that you would buy either, right?
That's not one I would buy myself. It was past my time, but I know there are a lot of people who do like it. And if you went to the arcade and that was one of the machines you enjoyed, that's the nostalgia factor, right? That's what's going to make you go buy it. So it's not for everyone, but again, not every one of these cabinets. You don't have to be Michael B. the Game Genie and buy every one. You can let a couple go past, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That guy's going to have to start selling some. But what about this one here? Like, I know Console Fanboy. I don't know if he's here or usually he pops in, but really big Mortal Kombat fan.
He's been asking for this, hasn't he? I mean,
that's what I'm wondering.
Asking John D forever for this.
What do you? I mean, I know you're not a Mortal Kombat guy, but what do you think of this?
I am a Mortal Kombat. I'm not a Street Fighter guy. I'm a Mortal Kombat guy.
Okay, but I mean, as far as the cabinet and collecting go, what do you think of this cabinet compared to, say, the original artwork that they came out with? I mean, obviously, this is the original Mortal Kombat artwork.
Right. The one actually I saw in the arcade for it actually had Johnny Cage, on it. But I know that's a licensing thing. But maybe mine wasn't the original artwork I saw in the arcade. That's entirely possible. I like the cabinet. I love Mortal Kombat. It's an iconic cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to we had the issue with the sides being like a little bit lowered, and your hand was hitting on the sides. I don't know if that's been addressed. It kind of looks like that same little lip is on the sides.
This is a render. This is a render.
It is. It is.
I got to say it. Doug's not here.
He's not. It is not. But I will say that this is like a Pac-Man. It's been released a couple of times, but there are enough people out there.
Read this comment. Read this comment.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The one I saw in the arcade had Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage was like, like that.
They don't want to pay Pacina.
Well, it might not be him. It might be that Midway doesn't have, the ability to even get that license. We're friends with Danny, though. Maybe Danny will be in the chat and let us know if anyone reached out to him. But, the thing with Arcade 1-Up is they have a license and they paid who knows what. We have no idea what they're paying for the licenses. They got to recoup that money. I'm sure by now they have, but they're going to, I don't want to say milk the license, but it's theirs to use and to bring out cabinets. And I'm fine with it. I mean, I'm not going to buy that one. But I'm sure if someone hadn't bought the previous ones, remember, some people are still getting into it now. Not everyone like us knows about Arcade 1-Up and ad games. It's a niche thing right now. They're trying to get it more mainstream. So other people may go, oh, check it out, and they buy it. They had no idea there was 2 or 3 other versions of it in the past. So just keep that in your mind as well. Arcade 1-Up is offering it, and best case scenario, they sell a bunch. Worst case scenario, $99, and we get to mod it. Right? So it's okay either way.
I wanted to bring this up because this is where I think is going to be a sore spot right now. And that's the Pro Series. They've got a bunch of different models for the Pro Series, but as you guys all know, because of the shipping issues that we've seen overseas, Glenn, we've seen it, you've seen it. The Killer Instinct cabinet was delayed. They ended up getting it out about a month before the end of the year. Now, all of a sudden in January, the Pro Series comes and they're like, all you guys that pre-ordered the Killer Instinct, now that love that game, that you're a big Killer Instinct fan, I'm a Killer Instinct fan, you're like, wait, what? They're coming out with a $1,000 Pro Series from my $699 3/4 scale? I could have got this had I known that you guys were doing this. Glenn?
Well, a couple of points there. First of all, I always tell you what, never pre-order. I say that every single time, so I have no sympathy there. But again, like you were saying earlier, $699 versus $1,000. Maybe you don't have room for the full size, so maybe you only had space for the smaller one. So again, they give you the option. You pick the one.
But what if when you pre-ordered though, Glenn, you would have loved to have the bigger one, but you didn't know it was coming? Don't you think?
Cancel your pre-order. It's a pre-order. Cancel it.
Yeah, but they're already shipping. They've already shipped, right?
It's called return. Get it?
I mean, I'm not saying everybody's has shipped. I've just seen like I was at my local Walmart. Some people still haven't gotten their pre-orders of The Simpsons. I can walk into Walmart right now and get it for $530 with the riser.
Right. Well, you can still have it delivered, and you can always return it to Best Buy or GameStop, wherever you got it from. Arcade 1-Up, I don't know if they take the returns through their store, but I can guarantee, even if you bought it, you could probably sell it to someone local anyway, and still get your larger one. But we've talked about this many, many times. We're on show, what, 87 now? Is that we're on 87?
Yeah.
Many, many times we've talked about that you can't cry the blues if you pull the trigger, buy something, and then something else comes out right afterwards. You have to put a stake down somewhere and say, I love this cabinet, I'm going to buy it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're always waiting.
But I've seen comments like that. That's why I wanted to bring this up. Now that we've got that out of the way, what do you think? I mean, I personally think it looks really good. It looks like the biggest complaint people said about the arcade one-ups is they don't look like real cabinets with some of the design. I have to say that this Pro Series, if I was in the market for it, I would buy these over the 3/4 scale. If I had the room, if I was just starting out like you were saying, I would probably skip the 3/4 scale. Again, if I was starting over and starting from scratch, because the design looks really good. Even for $1,000, again, what's the value worth? It's worth it to the person that's buying it, right? So we all know these $300 machines. I've already had Galaga's PCB die on me it's a $300. I think I even paid $250 for it. I'm hoping, I don't know because I haven't seen it, played with it. We haven't seen reviews. This is built better. I mean, based on the specs, you have Sanwa joysticks and buttons.
They were supposed to have Sanwa controllers in there, right? They don't have GRS. Maybe next time. I don't know. I think I got a better quality than Sanwa. But anyway, that's the thing. Two things. One is, if they're making a Proline series, which they are, they really need to mimic the curves and the look of the machine.
I agree.
There's no excuse now. There's no excuse now to use a generic cabinet. Each cabinet is going to have to look as close as possible to that machine. And again, the artwork and the music depends on licensing. I get that. But Proline, to me, now you're screaming, this is the quality the community's been asking for. This is our best we're going to show you, which means, A, when it comes out of the box, the artwork's not damaged. The wood is not broken. PCBs are tested and working. That better be what they're doing with this Proline. When you pull this thing out of the box, it better be pristine. When you put it together, it should have all the parts tested and working. That is Proline. If that doesn't happen, I'll be really ashamed for Arcade 1-Up to put Proline series and not put the quality testing behind these before they put it out.
And their Rexer corrected us. They're HAPs, not Samwas. And I think that was something that I think Doug's a fan of HAPs. I believe that's the ones.
HAPs is, what? Samwa is good, but there's nothing wrong with HAPs. HAPs has been around for ages. I mean, ages. Back pretty much the industry started in the arcade. So they shouldn't have any problem with HAPs controls.
So Rexer says, I'm guaranteeing it will be the same cheap plywood to keep it lighter, which I would agree with that. It may be even more wobbly because it's taller, and that remains to be seen. What I'm more interested in, because obviously, if you have kids, you don't want something that's more wobblier, but the components. How long are the components going to last? I mean, if you think these things are going to last 20 years, you're crazy. Okay, it's just I can't see that happening.
I don't know if I agree with that. I've got stuff. We're collectors. I got stuff from 1972. Of course, it's a little simpler. It's still working. Maybe not 20 years, but I'm going to really expect it coming out of the box.
Do you know why yours works? Because you got them in freaking plastic bags, man. I'm talking about like everyday normal wear and tear. Depending on how cheaply they're built.
I wouldn't say that, Stephen. I'll tell you something else. You could buy. I have my Zaxxon, right? That's an arcade quality machine because it was an arcade. That still needs maintenance. After since 1982, 10 years, it needed maintenance. Chips had to be replaced, caps had to be done, CRTs. So you can't hold them saying it's not going to last 20 years or not, because that's not fair. Real machines don't last that long without TLC and repairs.
Okay, to be fair, I'm not picking on Arcade 1-Up. I'm talking about any new electronic. Like I could see your Nintendo Entertainment System outlasting the new PlayStation or the Xbox that's out there.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not. Listen, don't take it, and people in the chat room, don't take it as I'm like downplaying it. But again, if you're using quality components, they're going to last. But I see some of the stuff that's going on in other forms with these consoles, and I look back and I'm like, here's me over here still playing a 30-year-old Jaguar and a 30-year-old Nintendo, and it's still working as good as the day it was, purchased.
Well, speaking of that, don't you have something right now that might need some repairs?
I do. Before we get into some of the other stuff.
What, pray tell, do you have?
So if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, Glenn was all upset because
I still am.
I happened to get a deal on. I was talking about a deal on an Atari Lynx. For those, this is a Gen 1. It's got the square buttons over here instead of. I'm sorry, the circle buttons instead of square buttons. And I was talking to Glenn and Doug, and I said, "Hey, I'm getting this, as well as a bunch of games, in-box carrying case. So I got California Dreams, I got Blue Lightning, I got Gates of Zendricon, I got
That's a great game. I love that game.
Gauntlet, Slime World, and Electro Cop." Okay.
Yes. Okay. And what else did you get, Steven, with that? What else did you get with the Lynx plus all those games? Tell me. Please tell me.
Something that's very rare that you will have a hard time finding is complete in box with everything. It's even got the manuals inside, and I can pull that out here in a second. But the box, for being, what, 33 years old, I believe it is?
1989. It came out 2 months after the original Game Boy. 2 months.
So that's what? Do the math for me, people. 33 years old? I want to say.
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
Am I wrong? Is it or 32 years old? No, that would be 33, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm worse at math.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll say a little over 30 years, but I think it's 33 years old.
And please tell me what the original money they were asking for that machine per tail.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we'll get into that here in a second. So let me pull this out real quick. It is missing one piece of foam, but it's got the original guide, another original guide, still in good shape, no bends, a little bit of warp, the original registration card.
You better do that quick, or they won't warranty it if it's a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll get right on that after the show. And like I said, there's a carrying case complete in box, and what was the other thing that I got with it? Oh, I bought the power adapter, the original one with the box. So originally they wanted $220 for it. Now, there is one minor thing wrong with it. It doesn't play sound out of it, but the headphones work. So talking to Glenn says, well, I think it might be the speaker. In fact, I'm pretty confident it's the speaker in there, and he said it's an easy change.
Yep, Best Electronics. It's a great site.
So I'm gonna get that changed. So they wanted 220. Well, I went back to him and I said, how about we do 185? I said, because the speaker doesn't work, and if I got to put some money into it, because honestly, we said this on the show. We said, if it worked and it was everything, they had everything, it was, factory, really nice condition, it'd be worth $300 or $400 in box. Well, after that show, we found out that they were watching the show. So they came back, sent me a message, said, "Oh, sorry, that deal has gone through. We're not giving it to you for 185 or 220. We're now selling it for $350 because we watched your show and we heard you guys talking." And I was like, "Well, you missed the part where Glenn and myself, and Doug, we were saying that had it been in pristine condition, and I'm not going to lie, if it was in pristine condition, wouldn't you agree, Glenn? It was worth that amount of money."
That's what they go for now, yeah.
If it's, pristine condition. The boxes, I would say it's probably a 70% tile versus 100%. So I was like, well, for $350, I can't do that. And I was talking to them back and forth, and they said, all right, we'll give it to you for 185. Because I said, I after I explained everything to them, they're like, we can do it for 185. I said, all right, let me think about it. And a week went by. I said, I do want it, but let me, it slipped my mind or whatever. They came back to me and they said, look, we really wanted to go to a collector. We had a bunch of other inquiries. If you take it today, we'll give it to you for 165 because we really wanted.
Who sells and bids down? Who are these people? Where do you find them? Who bids?
Listen,
down?
They wanted it to go to a collector, which I really appreciate them. I do. I really appreciate them giving a good deal because they didn't want somebody to buy it and resell it. That's really what they didn't want.
Right.
So they gave it to me.
I'm only teasing.
He even said, the guy that showed up, Which, by the way, the wife wasn't too thrilled with your comment about the she must be getting divorced or something like that. She kind of laughed about it, but
if she's watching now, trust me, all the women you want to take.
She said, well, or he said when he got there, he's like, well, I'm not trying to get rich off of it. So he's like, look, I want to see it go to a collector. So obviously it did. I played it a few times. My intention is not really to play it gun ho, but just to kind of have it as a collector piece. So Glenn's still trying to get over the fact that we settled at $185 and then they dropped the price another $20.
Yeah. You want to give me $185? No. I'll take $150. That's my final sale offer. Who does that?
They did it, and there's still good people out there. So it was kind of interesting because I went back to Glenn and Doug and I said, note to self, never talk about something when you're in the process of trying to get it on the internet, because you never know who's watching or who's listening.
No, but it worked out for you better in the end anyway.
It did. And they know I'm being honest. I mean, I showed them my game room and stuff on videos. So anyways, so that was something we wanted to show, just kind of break up a little bit of this monotony. We have a few other things to show.
Get my blood down. I think it's time for that time. Get my blood pressure down.
Wait, what time is it?
It's time for Game of the Week.
Prepare for battle.
The Game of the Week returns. And what game we're looking at this week? Today we're looking at Sega and Gremlin's Space Fury.
Prepare for battle, opponent.
Space Fury is the 1981 multi-directional shooter arcade game developed by Gremlin. It was released in North America by Sega and Gremlin in June of 1981, and then Sega released it in Japan in July of 1981. It's the first video game credited with using full-color vector graphics. Up until this time, there were usually black and white monitors, and it was Sega's second game to use speech synthesis. The home port was actually done for the ColecoVision in 1983. The gameplay for Space Fury is the player controls a spaceship battling alien spacecraft. It's controlled by using 4 buttons: rotate left, rotate right, thrust, and fire, kind of similar to Asteroids. The player at the beginning of each round can pick an upgrade to his ship before the round started, but once you picked one of these special enhancements, they couldn't be used again until all were used. One upgrade allows the player to shoot in a 3-way pattern. The second upgrade allows the player to fire forward and backwards simultaneously. And the third concentrates all firepower in the front. At the conclusion of the round, the player can now pick another shell to go on his ship. During the gameplay, the alien commander taunts the player through the use of synthesized speech. The game continues through the rounds, upping the challenge and the speed of the gameplay until the game is ended. The alien commander had a lot of fun quotes to taunt you, the player. Here are some examples.
Does anyone dare challenge my Imperial fleet? Is there no warrior mightier than I? So, a creature for my amusement. Prepare for battle. You defeated my scouts. Well, my cruisers will destroy you. Warships, dispose of this annoyance at once. You survive. You are starting to annoy me, creature. Prepare to battle my entire fleet. Our battle is completed, warrior. You were an outstanding opponent.
Space Fury was the first released vector graphics game to use a color monitor developed by Electrohome. This monitor became a standard for the Sega Gremlin line, as it was interchangeable between different systems using either vector or raster graphics. The game itself was developed by Sega Gremlin, but the game designer was Murphy Bevins, and it shares a lot of resemblance to Atari's Asteroids. Bevins noticeably reduced the amount of inertia that the ship experienced while moving in any direction, while keeping some features as wrapping around the screen. To make the gameplay more interesting, He also added the option for players to choose variable weapons between each stages. This marks the first instance of a shoot-'em-up game providing players with the option to upgrade their ship's firepower. One additional innovation of Space Fury was the use of a character who provided taunts through speech synthesis, the Alien Commander. The speech synthesis was generated using a General Instruments SP0256-19 with voice samples provided by a DJ with a deep voice, which was easier to modulate. The same voice actor would also be responsible for the voice clips used in Star Trek Strategic Operations Simulator, another great game. Unfortunately, the monitors used in the game were infamous for being unreliable due to a deflector amplification circuit put in place by the company's manufacturer, Electrohome. Reportedly, this circuit was in place to circumnavigate vector technology patented by Atari, but caused a great deal of failures in the monitor. Later revisions of the monitor did alleviate the problem. Raymond Demesky of Video Game Player magazine gave the ColecoVision home port generally a positive review. He called the original arcade game one of the best games to follow in the wake of Asteroids. Now, while praising the accuracy of the conversion, he criticized the lack of the game's speech in the home console version. But we're talking 1982, and speech synthesis was really only on the computers at the day, most notably the TI-9940 home computer. It's interesting to note that the alien commander who appeared in the game and on the marquee also makes an appearance in the video game Zektor, also designed by Murphy Bivens and released by Sega Gremlin. If you ever get a chance to play Space Fury, you could definitely do it on home console versions, but the best way is still going to be in MAME. Unfortunately, the speech for the Alien Commander is not very accurate, but still a fun game, and I do recommend Sega Space Fury. So that's it for the Game of the Week this week. Join me next week to see what game I'm playing next. In the meantime, remember to tell your family and friends that you love them. And also, in your free time, remember to game on.
You are starting to annoy me, creature.
The video. Here we go. Game of the week.
There you go.
Back and better than ever. Better than ever.
So we were discussing the during that time we were discussing the mini arcades, right?
Right.
So from Shiloh and the crew over to New Wave Toys.
And have a little announcement from them, as a matter of fact. So they just started shipping out their 1943 cabinet. And it turned out there was a small little error. I have a picture of it over here. Let's see. Bring this thing up. So if you look on the control panel next to A and B buttons, see if you could spot one might be wrong there, Stephen.
Well, it looks like it says the Battle of I can't see what it but the AT is down below. Yeah. Right. The AT is like down.
Yeah. So they don't know how it happened. They're really not sure how it happened. They think maybe it was just a production mishap. So they are going to fix that. They will be sending out this right here, which would be a new decal to place over the other one, which will, fix it so it's proper. So they really are apologizing about it. I mean, Shiloh and New Wave Toys generally, very high quality stuff, never had any problems, but, sometimes things do happen. There was a mishap, but they're stepping up and they're going to make sure everyone gets the corrected decals on there. And they want to send their apologies out to the community for it. It was just a mistake, but they will get these decals out to you guys to fix your cabinets.
Awesome. Well, that's good info, good update for those of you that are wondering. We also have, before we get into some iArcade, we're trying to mix this up a little bit, so it's not all CES blasting you guys. We're trying to make this more variety, but we have not necessarily a new game, but it is a new game. Alert. So one of the things that Glenn doing the sound effects. So one of the things that we've talked about is scalpers, right? We've seen PS5 non-existent, hard to get. Xbox Series X hard to get, almost non-existent in different places. And I've told people, Glenn has told people, Doug has told people, do not pay these scalpers. Do not pay scalping price. Nothing is worth double the price for these consoles. Well, after a year, and I've been waiting, we had a really nice gentleman that offered me his PS5 console that watched the show, gave it to me at cost. I had it the day after launch, which I'm totally cool with. Again, the great side of the community. But I managed. I know one of the managers in GameStop, and he sent me a text. And he said, "Guess what? We got these in." So
Ooh.
I picked up with some Christmas money, and I had some money saved because I was waiting for this. GameStop came with these if you're a Power Player, and I would encourage you guys, if you're still looking for one, to call your local GameStops, because they told me between the 29th and 30th they were getting a big shipment in. And I was like, okay, they're going to get like 3 or 4, Glenn. And this was labeled number 35, and I was one of the first ones to get it. So they got 35 units in. Now, what you had to do is buy it with a bundle. And everybody's like, oh, geez, a bundle.
That's what they get you every time, those bundles.
That's what everybody thought. I thought that too, but I was like, okay, let me hear it out. And she goes, with the bundle, it's $650. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you get? What do I get? What kind of junk do I got to buy to get this thing, right? And she goes, well, actually, you're going to get Call of Duty Vanguard, you're going to get Far Cry 6, and you're going to get NBA 2K22. And that was the only one that I was just kind of like, eh. But you get those for free, or included in the bundle. And you got a $50 gift card. And so I took the $50 gift card and bought Halo Infinite. So I got 4 games. And when I tallied up the value plus the Xbox Series X, I was very close to $800 and some dollars, plus tax. I didn't count tax. That's what it would have cost to buy everything independently. And so, and I got a charger. I got one of those dock chargers that you can lay your controllers on. So I was like, dang, that's a steal. And I was telling Glenn, 2 hours later, they were all gone at that particular store.
I'm surprised it took 2 hours.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's something that I've been playing and enjoying very much.
What do you think of Halo Infinite? What do you think of Halo?
I was not a big fan of the other Halos, but this one I'm actually getting into. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just the storyline behind it. I've been playing campaign. I haven't gotten into Call of Duty yet, but these games, Glenn, are huge. Like, I mean, a terabyte hard drive, and I've got like 500 gigs left with 4 games. So it's, it's rough, man. So I'd encourage anybody out there to get an external hard drive. That's the next thing on my list to get for it, like I did the PS5. So, but yeah, I mean, it's worth the wait, and I didn't have to pay scalper prices.
Yeah, I guess you got some value out of it. Only one time I had to do the GameStop shakedown, and I got some stupid stuff. It's like it was garbage. Right in the garbage pail when I got home. It was like wasting another $40 on something, but that doesn't sound too bad.
No, and like I said, I left the NBA 2K22 in the wrapper. I didn't open it up because if I can trade it for something or sell it back, at least it's still in the wrapper. I could sell it to somebody like maybe for $30 and then go buy a game that I actually want instead of a sport game. So it was just one of those things. But maybe in the coming weeks we'll kind of talk about some of the things that I've noticed with the Xbox Series X games and PS5 games that didn't stick out to me right away, and get everybody's thoughts on it. But let's talk a little iArcade here. They brought out a new cabinet, Glenn.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and I guess a good feature that Steve and I were talking a little bit earlier that we'll talk about in a little bit from my perspective. But it's a nice looking cabinet. I mean, with me, the iArcade, the graphics were always beautiful. Very good high quality graphic artwork on the decals. The cabinet sound. The first thing you always notice about iArcade, it has great sound, and now it's even better.
Yes,
they really stepped up the sound on there. The cabinet is a little bit larger. It looks more like a traditional cabinet than it did before. So between the two cabinet designs, this to me does look more the part. I was never shy telling anyone, including Zhang, I wasn't a fan of the design. But when I got it, I couldn't say the quality wasn't there, because sure as hell was. It was solid as a tank. It played very well. But I think this cabinet here is better. It's got a light-up marquee, right?
Yep.
So that's another plus on there. So I think, that they'll do very well. Their ecosystem on the back end, they have more games in there now than when they started their initial Kickstarter launch. So, you'll have those over here. I'm sure P-Dubs will have his 5th iArcade, coming any day now. But, I think it's good for them. The one good thing that Steven told me, I didn't even realize at the point, was on the old unit, the brains, if you will, was in the controller area. So if you modded like Doug did, and myself, if you mod the controllers or buttons, you have to void the warranty to do that. And you never want to do that with these type of machines. The controls is something that's very personal, and you might want to change them out. So apparently the brains is now in the monitor area, and the controller area is now, I don't want to say completely moddable, but at least you have access to it now, which we didn't have before. So with stuff like that, I am going to be having this released very, very soon. Always plug myself here. My Sanwa compatible gate switcher. So this will switch from a 4 and 8 way. So when you're playing, let's say, Burger Time on the iArcade, you have a 4-way mode, and you can press a button and switch it back to the 8-way mode. So what do you think about it? I like that they did that. I like that they. Oh, there's something else there too. I didn't even see that.
Well, that's your Glenn's Retro Show pull spinner. That was what you were just showing, right? So I wanted to pull it up as a bigger screen.
Thank you. This is
bigger
another
picture.
announcement I did have for today. That was something I didn't realize they were going to post yet.
Well, wait, we'll get into that.
Yep.
I just wanted to show a picture of what you were showing in your hand so that people could see it a little bit clearer.
Oh, that's not what this is. No. That's
I'm sorry. I thought that's.
No.
All right, my bad. Go ahead. Go back to it. Hold it up.
Here we go. This is a gate switcher. So
the gate switcher.
You can make your joystick. Yes. The one we're coming out with first is going to be for Sanwa compatible controllers. So you press one button, you're in 8-way mode. You press another button, you're in 4-way mode. It'll support up to 4 different joysticks on there. And if your machine supports it, we have a driver which will do it automatically. So if you're playing a game that supports, like in MAME or RetroPie, that supports the machine knowing what gate it should be, it'll do it all by itself. But you can still do it manually as well.
I've watched Glenn. Glenn showed us a private video in our own private chat about how this thing works. Guys, this is a must-buy if you want to have that. So I was watching. I was just like, Glenn, you got to be kidding me. He's like, the thing's dope. I don't know how else to say it, but it's awesome the way that works.
I will say this design was from Stephen Berger, and he's on my team now. We have quite a few good people on our team right now. We have a lot of projects still in the pipeline that's really going to. I'm going to say it's going to shake up the market because we're going to come up with some really good stuff. The one good thing we always make sure we do is arcade quality, but without that arcade price. And stuff like this is going to enhance your gameplay. When you're playing in a MAME or an At Games Legends machine and you're playing Pac-Man and you're playing Burger Time, you need a 4-way direction lock. When you play other games like Afterburner, you want the 8-way. And it works really, really well. And again, it can be set to automatic. And, if At Games or other company wants to incorporate that technology into their system, we're more than happy to work with them.
I want to get it for the iArcade because here's the thing. With these new cabinets that we were just showing, I seen, because again, I was watching some of Rexer's video that he was doing, as he was trying to chase down Jong. For Rexer was like, the graphics are really good. The marquee looks really good on it. Well, one thing Rexer showed on his video was that there was a Toe Jam and Earl iArcade cabinet. So Jong's team, if you're listening, I'm going to do a shameless plug right now. If you're going to be kind enough to send me one of those out for review, I will take my iArcade that I currently have and take it to the church so the kids can play with that and give that to them. But that would be the only way I would swap out the arcade. Either of course I'm being facetious, but I would sell or get rid of, let the kids have it at the church and buy the Toe Jam and Earl one. Dead Cell, doesn't really do anything for me, but the Toe Jam and Earl one's actually kind of cool. It's not really an arcade, but it's still cool. Like to have, I like Toe Jam and Earl.
It's a nice thing. It's a nice thing. The iArcade has lots of nice artwork, so you could most likely find something you really enjoy, and the quality is really, really good. So no problem there.
I have really nothing bad to say about the cabinet design and how it looks. I like the way they. I don't know if you noticed it, but it's really roomy in the top where it looks like that. I mean, the speakers are already obnoxiously loud as it is, but
no, man, they're great.
Can you imagine like that?
Love the jukebox mode,
dude. That sucker's gonna rumble that upper part of the cabinet, right? So you're gonna be able to hear stuff. So, I don't know, man. I think it's a pretty good lineup that they have now. I didn't catch whether Rexer said, because I was obviously I was working. I didn't know if he said that they're possibly coming if they get enough interest in them, or if they're coming. But spring 2022 is what I heard I think Michael, I think that's who he was interviewing, said that they're supposed to be coming out. So it's going to be interesting. Interesting 2022 in the home arcade space.
Let's hope.
Well,
and speaking of that real quick, you want to pull the thing up again?
Well, I was going to we'll pull it up
today.
Let's pull it up after this because we got I don't want to leave on a downer note, okay? So the downer note is this. For anybody that's been waiting for E3, the gaming convention has already canceled in-person event due to COVID, which we kind of knew. They were pretty much moving to an all-virtual event the last couple of months, and I was pretty certain that even CES was going to, from some of the connections that I had, but at the last minute, because of the way they were doing the testing and stuff, and they figured with vaccines and stuff that they were just going to go ahead and go through it with it. And the future, in my opinion, of trade shows is going to hinge on how many people are infected when CES is over, if any. If there's only 100 people, I think we're back in business. And I'm not saying that to wish, anything on people, but what I'm saying is if they can get away with 100,000 people being in a place and only 100 people getting infected by this way of testing plus vaccination, I think it's going to look up for trade shows going forward. But if you were interested in going to this convention, unfortunately, guys, it is not. So it'll be probably have IGN. They'll probably be doing announcements. I'm sure Arcade One Up and some of the other ones will be doing this. And Glenn, there was an article. Let's go up on an upper note, and I have one out after this.
Yep. So iArcade. iArcade's been around quite a while. They build the tank of tanks of home arcade, standalone units or machines, and they're partnering with us. So they are now offering my Discs of Tron push-pull spitter as part of their packages. And I can't thank them enough. They're awesome guys over there. They're fantastic. And they'll be offering more of my controllers in the future. But we're in partnership with them, and I'm super excited. They're stoked. I'm stoked. And that was really it. iArcade, you guys have had to heard of these people because they've been around for quite some time.
I don't know, but I know that funny-looking guy there. I know that guy.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you, man, for finally getting the brand recognition you deserved with all these parts that you've been so generously offering people.
That's it, because iArcade, one of the things that they've touted more so than anything is quality. It's not always the cheapest, but sometimes you get what you pay for, and they're very, very stringent on quality and stuff that's going to last. And they picked my stuff, they tested it, and they love it. So that makes me extremely happy because now more people can experience controllers that work the way they're supposed to, enjoying the games the way they're supposed to, which is something that I've always touted. So thanks, iArcade, for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Well, I think it's awesome that you had that opportunity. And guys, make sure you check that out if you want to pick one of those up for your arcades. I don't know if anybody out there, do we have any Castlevania fans in the chat room? If you're a Castlevania fan, give us a thumbs up or a 1 in the chat room here. I want to see some Castlevania fans. I'm a big Castlevania fan. In fact, I had some artwork on the wall in here that a guy on Instagram had made. It's like 3D artwork. It's really cool. I try to collect a lot of the Castlevanias. I have some that are valued, that are retro, that are valued a lot. What about you, Glenn? Are you a Castlevania fan?
I am. I'm obviously, my favorite is obviously NES original one.
Agreed.
I played that game and I absolutely loved it. But I do enjoy Castlevania. I even liked Simon's Quest. Captain N, the Game Master.
Oh yes. That was really good.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Castlevania fan. There was one that I always wanted to play, but I think it was only available on like the PlayStation Store.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great one. But my favorite personal one is for the TurboGrafx CD, Castlevania X, which is also touted as one of the best versions of it.
See, I like that one. I also like Sympathy of the Night. But I play that one on Sega Saturn. I also had the Japanese version. That was the one I tend to play. I don't know, it plays really nice on the Saturn. But if you're like me and you like hard copies, and like Glenn that likes hard copies, and Doug, limited run games. And I know limited run games takes forever. Like if you order it now, you probably won't get it till August, but
That's okay. They're great.
This one is worth it. In 6 days, 13 hours, 4 minutes, and 27 seconds and counting, you will be able to pre-order this Castlevania limited run Requiem edition for PS4. There's also a big bundle edition where you get like a fake casket inside for Dracula. I think that runs almost $179. You'll have to check their website. This is the one I'm pretty much interested in because I just don't have a lot of room for collectibles and stuff in that fashion. $65, and you get this for the PS4. It is PS5 compatible, and it comes in an old retro, what looks like a Nintendo box is what they attributed it to. I did this for Streets of Rage 4 as well, but it has, Glenn, your classic Castlevania games and some of the other ones, like Sympathy End of the Night. It's got a bunch of them on there. So to have that as a PlayStation 5/4/ newer console, I might just keep it in the box because I have it on the Switch
The
already.
box
The
art looks
Castlevania.
nice.
It does. It looks
The
like an
box
old.
art looks nice.
It looks like a Nintendo cartridge.
Yeah.
So, if you guys are interested in that, check out Limited Run Games, and you have till February 27th, 2022, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time to order. So as soon as that goes live next week, I will be pre-ordering that. As a Castlevania fan, Glenn, I can't let this pass by. And I would probably even buy, I hate to say it, because I said I wouldn't buy any more arcades, and I probably wouldn't. But if somebody came out, even though it's not an arcade game, if somebody came out with a Castlevania arcade, like even Jong, I would have to get it because, I know it was never an arcade, but it would look cool in the game room. So I would have to get rid of something.
Good arcade gameplay in a lot of those, so you can't be faulted for that. It's a good series.
It is a very good series, and it's something that I've enjoyed over the years and throughout my life. So Mike in the chat room, which Mike and I, we had some fun playing Fortnite. He showed up and he joined us on the squad, and we got a couple dubs with him. He says, I always order on Limited Run Games whenever they have the Neo Geo stuff. Yeah. Dreamcast is another one that, they're still making games for that. So.
You know what? We've talked about it. The Dreamcast, the graphics still hold up. It's 2022. It came out in 1998. It's a great system. If you ever played Dreamcast, get one because they're great playing games.
Third Floor Arcade with Jason says Dracula X is on the TurboGrafx 16 Mini. I actually have my Mini hooked up over there if I want to stream. Trying to leave my original TurboGrafx kind of, so it doesn't break. Castlevania easily translates to arcade. I know it's something that you could play. I could see that on iArcade. So, Jong, if you're watching this, if you're listening, hit up Konami. See if you can get that. Even if you didn't have a arcade made after it. I don't know. Is Nintendo the rights owner now of it, or is it still Konami? I don't even know. It might be. Somebody in the chat room will know, and they'll let us know. But I would love to see. I would love to see it on an iArcade or something. I would buy that game on iArcade in a heartbeat. Even though I have it on 50 other different systems, it would be worth buying just to have that, Glenn, just for the nostalgia side of things.
Wouldn't fault you for it. I really wouldn't.
Man, can you believe it? We went a full hour. It's just you and I.
And I talked like 53 minutes of it. So yeah.
No, you were. It was a lot of fun today, guys. And those of you, if you're watching right now, the riser plate. Two guys, Willie G and somebody else, they actually won the riser plate. The holidays got away from me. I didn't get a chance to get those out. And I know Willie G emailed me. I want to let you know this week we're going to get them out to you. I apologize. I got to get it out. I'm slacking on that. I don't want to be labeled like P-dubs and wait 6 months before you guys get your prize. We just got sidestepped. My wife was going to take it, and then I realized one of them's still on my arcade because I was going to do a video for Tulsa Arcades, and then I was like, well, there's no point in doing the video if I've already given it away, so I got to pull it off the arcade and put it on because, like I said, my wife was going to take it out. But I will get it to you guys, and we'll make it happen. So, I apologize. But next week, hopefully, Doug will be back, and he'll be in good health.
Let's hope so.
I just know that it's nasty, that virus. So just keep him in your thoughts and prayers this week. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Glenn Plantamento, youtube.com/gplantamento.
And I want to say one shout out to Emma, very, very dear person to me, not feeling well. Please feel better, and hopefully you'll be out and about soon.
Well, good health to you, Emma, and going into 2022. And guys, we really appreciate you tuning in. If you guys want to come and harass me later on at 9:30, I know there's some other shows going on the internet. Look, I'm not going to be upset if you're going to watch them, but listen, we'll be playing. You can tune in. I'm trying to get people to go to my Twitch. I know a lot of you guys watch my YouTube for YouTube videos, so the goal is to start building an audience there so we can just stream gameplay on Twitch and do everything else on YouTube. So go over there, give it a like, and subscribe to my YouTube or my Twitch channel, excuse me. But if you want, 9:30, we're going to be streaming, playing some games, having some fun. Come on out, even if it's for 10 minutes, just to pop in, say hi. That's cool too. And we'll see you guys next week for more of the Retro Buzz. Till next time.
Buzz, buzz.
Keep it buzzing.